transition in my identity. You see, I spent the first 33 years of my life living a lie, not being true to who I really am.
All right.
I was afraid because many in our society reject people like me, treat us like we're some kind of inhuman monsters. I spent most of my life thinking I was a liberal, but the truth of who I am is I'm trans-political. I've been a conservative trapped inside of a liberal's body all this time. And I am proud to be part of the trans-political, conservative, freedom-loving community. The TPCFL community is growing every day.
Trans-political, conservative, freedom. JP is good, bro. JP is very good. Somehow he takes whatever's going on in the culture and he just twists it away. He's a genius, man.
Millions of people are waking up and realizing they're no longer liberals.
The American flag in the back.
Probably never were, even though that's what society pressures them to be. Dear mainstream media, pop culture, and Hollywood, quit pressuring people to be something they're not. Being trapped inside the identity of being a liberal was confining and betraying.
Identify with this a lot.
I was miserable pretending to be someone who I wasn't. I thought I had to be a liberal. You know, everyone around me was. I started realizing my true identity as a conservative. But the liberal community doesn't accept trans political people like me. They're very transphobic. I was afraid I'd lose all my friends and my family would disown me. But I finally found the courage to be my true self. And since I've transitioned, I've never felt more free. But there's still challenges being part of the TPCFL community.
Somehow we can all identify ourselves with something similar to this in our life. Especially if you went to college. I went to college myself, and I went for years. I have a master's degree, and then I did 1 year of something else. And of course, you see one side of things being just projected to you daily. That's when you detach yourself from a lot of these cultural norms. That's when you start noticing a lot of stuff. I see where it's coming from.
I live in fear every day. Liberals see my people as being less than human. They're not safe to be around. They reject us, put us on blacklists, try to cancel us.
Damn.
And they accuse us of being exactly what they are. As hard as it is, it's worth it. I didn't want to keep dyeing my hair blue. And socialism started to not sound like such a good idea. It's like history started to seem relevant to me, where I could see every time socialism was implemented,
It's interesting because when I finished college, I think it was 1-2 years after that, I started working, paying taxes and stuff like that. I got into the American history, and I started getting into the Civil War. A lot of that stuff, man, and I started loving it. And I started loving American history a lot. The good and the bad. Everything. I don't care if it was good. I don't care if it was bad. I don't care. It's still American history. So I fell in love with it. And I can see where it's coming with this. It's funny, but
resulted in a horrific situation. Who I used to be in that community with regard to socialism, I just thought doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result would create a different result. That always made sense to me, as long as I didn't think about it. I used to wake up and think, how can I be more obedient today? And then I turn on the news to find out what I think for the day. But as I accepted my true identity, I realized that who I am is a person that thinks for himself.
Look at that.
And I couldn't go back. When I was a liberal, anytime I'd see a gun, I'd go under a fear response and my genitals would retreat upward into my body cavity. And we'd all just say, why can't authorities with guns take everybody's guns for our protection? Now that I've transitioned, when I see a gun, I get aroused. Going through a political identity transition also involves massive hormonal shifts. Since I became self-responsible and brave, my testosterone levels have tripled. Back when I was someone who lived in fear all day, my estrogen levels were a lot higher. It's been a big hormone transition.
That is interesting.
Now I have the hormonal profile of a man. I love freedom, and I love America. How about that?
Yeah.
It feels good to say. When I'm done praying, I end the prayer with the word amen, because that's the only word that makes sense. Being in the trans political community feels like home. I identify as someone who has personal sovereignty, God-given freedom, and respects the rights of my fellow man. Going to BLM rallies and peacefully throwing bricks through windows and lovingly burning down buildings just isn't the real me. I just hope that one day those of us who are in the trans political community can get the same rights that everyone else in our society has. It'll be an uphill battle. Liberals are one of the most bigoted and segregated groups you'll ever find. I mean, they won't accept anybody who's not just like them. They'll only associate with their own kind. They're very uninclusive to the trans political community. They're very hostile towards us. I love freedom. What can I say? It feels great to be who I really am. Do I have a message for other trans political people who are still living a lie?
He's so good, man.
It's safe to come out and make the transition. You've got a community who loves you. You don't have to keep pretending that all police are bad. You don't need the government to protect you from what they tell you to be afraid of. And you don't need to keep living like a scared little obedient bitch.
Ooh.
Be free. One more piece of
JP. Right in money, man. Let me say this. Accountability is very hard concept for a lot of people to understand. Some of the spectrums of the political arena. I think a good eagle is equally strong when the two wings are flying at the same time. I'm moving at the same time, right? I'm a huge believer of freedom, and Americanism. Huge, right? It is very interesting the times that we're living now, where certain spectrums of the American society strive for some weird stuff, man. Weird. Like, accountability is not even in their conversation. If you say accountability is just something, that a white supremacist will be putting out there or something like that, which is not true. It's just in some way kind of destructive. It's easy to say that, like, anyone from their own country, right, would not feel fear to say, "Hey, I love my country," and how somehow Americans saying, "I love my country, you're the devil." That for me make no sense. I think each country has some energy of destruction, or destroying themselves. And freedom means freedom. Freedom means the bad and the good ideas need to be, debated in order for us to just reach to a conclusion. And sometimes that conclusion will not be in our favor or other people's favor. And that's okay. Because for freedom requires a lot of responsibility. And some responsibility, you might not like it. But we say yes to that. This was very good. Very good. Liberal final becomes a conservative. What do you guys think? Can be this something that a lot of you guys identify with? You guys reacted the same as me. Very funny. This guy's very funny, man. He's an A+ when it comes to comedy. Very good. Let me know in the comment section below, and I really appreciate it.